For the first problem, we're going to take 38 and 712 thousandths plus 21 tenths. So we first have to set this up on the chart, or you have to set it up making sure all the place values are lined up. I like to use the chart because it makes sure that I don't make mistakes. 38 and 712 thousandths plus 21 and 9 tenths. Draw my line, get my function out there. Now, like I've already talked about before, we can put some zeros out there to make sure that we know exactly what's going on so we don't make a silly mistake. Now all I'm going to do is add it up. 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 0 is 1. 7 plus 9 is 16. But I'm going to put my 6th in my tenths place and take 10 of those tenths and move them over to my ones. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So I have 10 ones. So what I'm going to do is take those 10 ones and move them over to 110. Leave me with 0 ones and 110. 3 plus 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. Make sure you move your decimal down, which gives me 60 and 612 thousandths. For the second problem, we're going to take 17 and 4 tenths minus 9 and 32 thousandths. So I look, and I understand that I've got the ones and the tenths place covered. I have 17 and 4 tenths. And I'm going to subtract 9 and 32 thousandths. Again, I understand that I have two places that have no numbers, so I'm going to put my zeros in there because that's okay, because 400 thousandths is the same as 4 tenths. Now I'm just going to subtract. I can't take away 2 from 0, so I'm going to go to my next place value. Can't take anything from 0, so I'm going to go to my tenths. I'm going to take 1 away from the tenths and leave myself with 3 tenths. Move over to the hundredths, and I took those 10 tenths and took 1 tenth and moved over and had 10 hundredths. Now I have. Now what I need to do is take those 10 hundredths, take 1 away to make it 9, and move it over so I have 10 thousandths. Now I can solve my problem. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 3 is 6. 3 minus 0 is 3. 7 minus 9 I can't do. So I go over to my tens, get rid of it. I bring over 10 ones to give myself 17 ones. I just decomposed it. 17 minus 9 is 8. And now I have 8 and 368 thousandths. For my next problem, I want to take 273 and 1/10 minus 19 and 78 hundredths. So I take 273 and 1/10 minus 19 and 78 hundredths. Again, I need to get a 0 because I have a place value and I just need a number for that. So 0 minus 8 I obviously can't do, so I go to my tenths. Take 10 tenths and move them over into the hundredths. Leave myself with 0 tenths. So we got a little. 10 minus 8 is 2. Now I can't take away 7 from 0. So I go over to my ones. I grab 1 1, leaving me with 2 ones, and adding, so I now have 10 tenths. 10 minus 7 is 3. 2 minus 9, can't do that, so I grab 110. Move that over to the 1, so now I have 12 ones. 12 minus 9 is 3. In the tens, I can take away 1 from 6. 6 minus 1 is 5. 2 minus 0 is 2. 253 and 32 hundredths. For my next problem, I can see that I'm going to go back to adding, and I'm going to add 21 and 32 hundredths plus 19 and 94 thousandths. Again, I'm going to need a 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. 9 plus 2 is 11. So I put 1 down and I move 10 of those hundredths over to the tenths. 3 plus 1 is 4. 9 plus 1 is 10. I'll put 0 ones, move 1 10 over. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Drop my decimal down. That's very important. Otherwise, the answer is wrong. Leaving me with an answer of 40 and 414 thousandths. For my next problem, I have 172 plus 69 and 31 hundredths. So I put in 172 plus 69 and 31 hundredths. Again, I'm going to need a couple zeros to help balance me out. I am adding. Here we go. 0 plus 1 is 1. 3 plus 0 is 3. 9 plus 2 is 11. So I take 1 1 and leave it there. Take 1 10 and move it over. 7 plus 1 is 8. Plus 6 is 14. Take 4 tens and move over 10 of the tens. 1 plus 1 is 2. Drop my decimal down. Make sure you drop it down. My answer is 241 and 31 hundredths. My last problem on this side is 3 minus 1 and 472 thousandths. So I take 3 minus 1 and 472 thousandths. I'm going to have to get some zeros out there. So I set up my decimal point, 0, 0, 0. Okay, can't take away 2 from 0, so I have to go all the way to my ones place. Take 1 1 away. Move it over is 10 tenths. 10 tenths is 10 now, but I'm still going to have to move it over. So I take 1 away from there, leave it 9. Make my hundredths, leave 10 hundredths. Now, take 1 hundredth away, leave 9 hundredths, and now I have 10 thousandths. Now the rest of this problem will be nice and easy to solve. 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 7 is 2. 9 minus 4 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. Drop my decimal down. My answer is 1 and 528 thousandths. Okay, first we're going to compare the following numbers using greater than or less than. 7,812 and 2 tenths. And 7,812 and 19 tenths. 7,812 and 2 tenths. And 7,812 and 19 tenths. Now we can put our 0 in there, and we can start at the highest place value, which will be our thousandths place. 7 and 7 are equal. 8 and 8 equal. 1 and 1 equal. 2 and 2 equal. 2 and 1. Okay, we found our greater number. 7,812 and 2 tenths is greater than 7,812 and 19 tenths. Our second problem, we have 921 and 87 hundredths and 930. So 921 and 87 hundredths and 930. We start at our largest place value, which is our hundreds place. 9 and 9 are equal. 2 and 3, we have a greater number, meaning that is our greater number. 930 is going to be the greater number, so to read this correctly, 921 and 87 hundredths is less than 930. Next, we want to decompose the following number. We're looking to decompose 12 and 862 thousandths to the tenths place. So we have 12 and 862 thousandths. So when we right now, it's decomposed to the tens place. We take it to the ones place. We're going to take our 1, slide it over, and drop our 2 down. So we have 12 ones as opposed to 1 10 and 2 ones. We have 8 tenths still, 6 hundredths, and 2 thousandths. Now we're decomposed to the tenths place. As we move it over, we're going to take our 12, slide it over, and drop our 8 down, giving us 128 tenths. Then we'll drop our 6 down and drop our 2 down. Now this is decomposed to the tenths place. So we have 128 tenths, 6 hundredths, and 2 thousandths. Next, we're going to decompose 15,923 and 82 hundredths to the tens. So we take 15,923 and 82 hundredths, and we're decomposing it to tens. Now another way that I showed you how to do this, we're going to look at the one that we're going to decompose to and actually slide everything over. So 1,592. So I have 1,592 tens, 3 ones, 8 tenths, and 2 hundredths. Our last problem that we have on here is to convert a measurement. The measurement we have is 10 and 63 hundredths centimeters, and we got to figure out what it is to millimeters. Well, first of all, we have to set up our conversion. 1 centimeter equals 10 millimeters. So my first row will be my centimeters. My second row will be my millimeters. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters. Now all I have to look at right here is that I jumped over 1 to the left. And whenever we go to left, we know that we are going to what? Multiply, that's right. So we're going to multiply centimeters times 10 to the first power equals millimeters. Now all I have to do is take the number they gave me, plug it back in, and do the exact same thing. So I take my centimeters that they gave me. They gave me 10 and 63 hundredths. I'm going to bounce all of them over one space or multiply them by 10 to the first power. 1. I bounce my 0 over and get a 0, bounce my 6 over, get a 6, and bounce my 3 over for a 3. Drop my decimal down, so I have 106 and 3 tenths millimeters. I want you to go back to the front of your paper. At the top, right by the name, right next to homework, we're going to give the score. We're going to put it out of 11. That's the total number of points they should have gotten. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to write down their score, and then whoever's in charge today will choose one student to pick up all the homeworks and give them to them. Then we're going to move on to our review activity.